to Holmes County. The quilt over there, about the second or third year that we had gone to a school auction, which we go to every August, they always have a quilt giveaway. And I usually buy chances. And that, as I said, second, third, fourth year, when we went up, they announced the winner, the ticket number, and I remember sitting there looking at my ticket thinking, I know my eyes got this big, and I won that quilt. So we brought that one home. That's basically what started it all for us. This one here, we have Amish friends that we actually just went to a wedding this past week at their home, and we took their whole family, 6 children and 4 adults, to Niagara Falls several years ago. And when we got back to their house to drop them off, they gave us that quilt. You have to look closely, but in the center, right here, there is a peacock. Yeah, there he is. You can see the head and the tails. That's how he and Ray met. That's what began our friendship, was over a peacock egg that Ray gave this fella. It's all white, yeah. So it's hard to see, but it's beautiful quilting if you look at the detail on it. This one came from the quilt auction that we had gone to when we go in August. It wasn't getting a bid, and I thought, you know what, or much of a bid, and I felt like it was worth a little more money than what they were getting. So it has no real special meaning to us, but I just thought it was a pretty quilt, and we have it on a bed. The next one's my favorite. When it came up for sale at the auction, of course, everybody's saying, Ray and Alice, you have to get that one. And it's got a beautiful embroidered peacock on it with some beautifully done squares and designs and colors. And as I said, that's probably my favorite. Behind us is another tied comforter that we bought at the auction a few years ago, just basically for comfort. You know, you're kind of hesitant in using quilts on your beds. They are too pretty, but we do have them on some beds. But that one we got mostly for just warmth. The next one's a wall hanging, a quilted wall hanging that I got at the school auction a few years ago. They were a little more reasonably priced that I could afford. Because we've been up there sometimes and quilts have gone for $1,500. It's a little on my price range, but they are gorgeous. And this last one I'll let Ray tell about.
After my father passed away, I don't remember who, but my mother gave all the ties to someone for them to make a quilt from his ties. So these are all of my father's ties that was made into a quilt after he passed.
The first ones? Sure. My grandmother passed away about 40-some years ago, and she made from each of my sons, who are now in their 50s, just a small crib tied comforter. And those have special meaning. She made one for my oldest and then one for my second one. And then I also have a quilt top that that she made. It's not quilted. I'm trying to decide if I want to find someone to do a quilt or to quilt it. I'm thinking, how do you come up with a pattern for something like this? And then this one she also made. And this one is from Ray's Aunt Dorothy, who, well, great Aunt Dorothy. And she lived up near Gettysburg and has since passed.
Alice, for us non-sewers, can you explain what a tied quilt, because those look like they're sewn together somehow.
Well, the quilt squares are hand quilted together, and people today often use machines, but these are all hand quilted. The tied means where there's a little piece of yarn, they've gone through the back side and brought up to tie it all together so it doesn't bunch up. Because when older quilts were made, what they used for the inside might have been an old blanket, or not necessarily batting, but whatever they had to fill in between the quilts. Yeah, you can see these are all hand stitched. But we just wanted to share something that we've gotten involved in. As I said, I do not quilt, so don't ask me technical questions, Ken. but we've thoroughly enjoyed it, and just wanted to share this with everybody. Any other questions?
I do. What is on the back of your sons? Are they little frogs on the back side of that first one?
The first one?
Yeah. Are those little frogs?
Little kittens.
Oh, kittens, okay.
Little kittens.
And then this one has owls
I thought they might be
and
frogs 'cause they were-
sons, I guess.
Okay.
As I said, well, my grandmother had over 50 grandchildren, so she made for her own grandchildren, such as me, and then as long as she was alive, she made for our kids. Thank you for the opportunity.